Okay, Money in the Bank 2019. Let's get right into some of this. First off, the tags division. I didn't watch the pre-show. So now, on to the women's division. What I like that they did is they started off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So you kind of knew right away there's going to be a cash-in. Naomi was just like Bumblebee, not the DC character. And good job using her athleticism. I liked seeing her, like dodge ladders, do the splits under a ladder, which I thought worked out pretty well. Good showcase for her abilities. For some reason, the women's ladder matches always just seem bizarre. I don't know if it's almost more kind of like the way that when they're doing a match like this, they don't have a lot of the strength to pull off the moves you tend to see in the men's matches. So they just don't seem to be as massively impactful. Like when you saw Carmella hit her weird double axe handle to gently push Natalya into a ladder. Or when Bayley was stuck in a ladder as women just slammed it into her. Not a bad spot, just thought they could have done a little bit less times, especially when I'm like, aha! Oh wait, I have to pop the section ladder back so I can repeatedly hit Bayley with it. Of course, Alexa Bliss was out, so Nikki Cross took her spot. Dana Brooke did pretty well in this too. This was a decent showcase for all the women involved. We did get to see a variation of an eclipse off the ladder. You can tell that when she went for it, she went more cutter, less stunner, which is good because jumping from a ladder into the ring to do a stunner is a great way to blow out your hips over time, as well as jack up your back. So going more into a cutter motion makes sense. And it ended up being Bayley, especially after Sonya Deville got involved, took out some people, and then threw Mandy on her shoulders and climbed the ladder with her. Great spot, and it's a good continuation of their story. So Bayley won. I'm like, okay. Do I think Bayley's going to cash in and go heel? So, first of two asterisk women's title matches. So we've got Lacey Evans taking on Becky Lynch. Lacey Evans looked pretty good in this. I like that Lynch was faster, more aggressive. She wanted to finish her off just to get the match done. The finish was weird, but I like the fact that Lacey worked the arm a lot, did a good job. I liked her front face. I guess a front face DDT, and then into a gator roll, and then working. I thought that was pretty good. I do agree with Renee though that when she took out her napkin and patted her face, then her armpit, then her face. Yeah, you would do face then armpits, not face armpit face. But then stuffing the sweat-soaked rag into Becky's mouth, good bit of character work right there. As well as just doing moves, she's digging her nails into her. Some decent heel work. You really couldn't see it if you were watching it live as well, but the commentators put it over well, so it worked well in the match. The finish. She punches Becky in the back of the leg, and then goes for a roll-up with the ref not counting, even though it's pretty apparent that Becky's shoulders appear to be down in most of the angles they show. And Corey going 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why the ref's not counting. And then, into this armor, tap out. I was like, okay. Charlotte comes down. I was like, hey, you want to go now? Becky and Charlotte have a good Becky and Charlotte match. You've seen hundreds of them. But the weird thing is you go from a new wrestler in Becky Lynch to these two, and these two are just beating the daylights out of each other. Great match. The Lacey Evans Becky Lynch match was good, decent work for it. Then Charlotte and Becky just show you that there's definite tiers in the wrestling skill set of them. Finish comes down where Charlotte is down on the outside, ref's checking in on her. Lacey comes down, women's right, which then leads into a small package where it's Becky pinning Charlotte, but it's 1, 2, 3, kick out. Wasn't kick out there. And then a big boot. 1, 2, 3, new champ. Now Lacey and Charlotte begin to beat down on Becky, which makes Bayley come down. Bayley for the save. Charlotte goes for one of her spears. Bayley was out of the way. Charlotte crams her skull into the middle turnbuckle. Bayley looks at Charlotte, looks at the crowd, looks at the suitcase. Charlotte, suitcase, crowd. Grabs the suitcase, taps it, hands it in, big elbow, 1, 2, 3, Bayley's champion. And you know what? Good reset for both divisions. It allows Raw to have Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans going forward, because afterwards Becky just went nuts on Lacey. Good. That way then you put some more star power on the Raw Women's division, which sorely needs it. And it allows them to have Bayley as the champion, and then allows them to either do Bayley Charlotte, which we know works, or Bayley can be like, hey, no more rematches. You're a 9-time champion. Time for someone else to get a spot. And maybe we'll get to see who is the purest babyface. When Kairi Sane takes on Bayley. Why not? But it does seem weird that here's your SmackDown title for the past, almost, not like past 8 months. Becky takes it off Charlotte. Ronda costs Becky and Charlotte the title position on Asuka. Asuka loses it to Charlotte. Charlotte loses it to Becky. Becky loses it to Charlotte. That's kind of bizarre. So now we're going to the men's division. In the steel cage match, if throw-up does not break a count. That's a Shane McMahon and Miz match. Good match overall. It felt weird to see this. I do think that when you're beating your opponent down with a chair, I would beat them with the chair until I just pinned them. The finish where Shane slipped out of his shirt and then fell off and won just felt odd. But that way then, Shane didn't take an L when he's going to have his feud with Roman Reigns. It seems better. Roman Reigns killed Elias. So that takes out all the matches that are not for oh yes, and Tony Nese and Arya Daivari were stuck in a bizarre spot on the card. Put on a good match. Standard 205 live fare. Where these are the two that got a main show spot. But now we'll go through the men's matches. First, we'll go with AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. Great match. Loved the counters. There'll be a highlight reel easily for this match. I will say, seeing the stomp counter into a Styles clash was fantastic. Dare I say, phenomenal. But beautiful match. I love that AJ takes bumps a different way. He takes a super kick where he's just be like, oh, flat back. It was like, crumple. And I went, I love that. I love those moments. I want to see someone take a bump and not always flat back. I get tired of seeing oh, I was at the front and flat back. I want someone to take a hit. It's like Neville when he was in NXT. Took a shot where he just stood there. And then fell on his butt. And then just crumpled to the side. Good. If you've ever been knocked loopy, every now and it's body shutting down. Here comes gravity. And then you collapse. Thought that was good. Seth Rollins retained. Great match. High work rate. I loved the way that they would build up in spots. And then they would kind of fade back a little bit. So it was good. It wasn't just all out, but they would do all out sequences. And they would both sell being tired and being pushed to their limit. Thought it was great. Especially the announce team talking about how Seth Rollins changed up his exercise routine to go from, more durability and strength for taking on Rollins, for taking on Lesnar, versus what he's doing for this match, which is working more on his cardio because he knows he's going to be in the deep waters with AJ Styles. Great, worked well, crowd was into it, amazing match, but I'd expect nothing less from those two. Kofi Kingston, Kevin Owens. I like that we had definite body work, which makes sense. And I do like that when you see someone go for a Boston Crab, and the focus is back and abdominals midsection work. liked that. Thought it was good. You know, great match, solid. Not as good as AJ and Seth Rollins. I didn't expect it to be, but still very solid match with Kofi retaining, which made sense. Now we finish with the men's Money in the Bank Please Don't Kill Each Other match. Whew. 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 Andrade and Finn did the Sons of the Powerbomb spot off a ladder onto a ladder. And it's a brutal looking spot. Because when they flip over, Andrade's feet hit the ladder. His feet or his butt hit the ladder first, which begins to pop the ladder. And then you see Balor hit it, and then he pops off the ladder, and then hits it again, then rolls off. Whew. Whew. Ice packs and a bath of Epsom salt for anyone who's in this match. That's okay. Andrade took another stick bump, where it was the Spanish fly off of the ladder. They kill each other in this match. And then when Ali was by himself, after everyone else had been killed, resurrected, and then killed again, and Ali's like, wait, what? No. Why? Well, Sami Zayn was hurt earlier, so there's 7 people in the match. So, anybody from Raw can be picked to run in and win the Money in the Bank ladder match? Okay. You can do subs? Okay. I guess we had a sub for the women's match because someone was injured. Sub for the men's match because someone got jacked. So, men's Money in the Bank ladder match holder is Brock Lesnar. It's going to be a bizarre because Lesnar doesn't show up very often. So whoever's holding the title is probably pretty safe. Now, it would make sense, of course, too, to have Brock Lesnar show up on SmackDown, because he'll Kofi or Kingston, and then Brock works Tuesdays. Right, so then Brock works Fridays. And then you have Brock on Fox. Okay, this seems really random, but you can tell this is a setting the pieces up, which from that standpoint it worked well. I don't enjoy seeing things for Super Showdown and saying that it's as big as WrestleMania, if not bigger. Just saying.